Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another stream where I apparently can hear myself again. I'm so bad at this. I really need to figure out my streaming setup before I start streaming, because it is time for Warhammer. Woo! I am back at the painting desk once again, and I'm going to be doing some basing today, which hopefully you will enjoy watching me doing and me talking and rambling as I do. Let's take a look at what we have here at the desk. So, these are all the bases that I need to have done for my vampire army. If we take a look at my tome, here we go. So I have written up. Here are every base that I need to make, and here are the ones that I've done. So you can see that I've done all my 25mm, done all my 32mm, I've done all my 40mm. I need to do one 60 by 35, and I need to do 6 75 by 42mm. And then after that, all the bases for my vampire army as it stands are complete. The only thing not mentioned there is also this, which is, I believe, a 60mm for my Belladama Volga, who I got recently. I've not put any of the special characters or the ones that are attached already to a base on that list, because I didn't feel like I need to. It was pretty obvious what I had to do. Let's see, where's Volga? She was around there somewhere. My desk is very messy. She's not still on the box. Okay. There she is. Now the thing about Belladama Volga is that she normally sits on this thing, which is like a tree stump with some legs with some rock and stuff, and it looks really cool, but it does not work for my basing, and I really dislike this when Games Workshop includes things like this. At least this one is easily removable, but you know, when they include stuff like this, it kind of forces you to be able to integrate like this tree and these rocks and whatnot into the basing scheme. And since all my vamps are on this kind of cobblestone, that doesn't really work. Like, these are two very different aesthetics. It just does not work. So I need to build something new for her, and I'm thinking it is gonna be a staircase. So I made this jig that I have here somewhere. It's not a jig, it's like a ruler, I suppose. Where is it? Here it is. So here I know how wide it needs to be and how tall it needs to be. So it needs to, I can check like this. Something like that. So it needs to go out this far, and the back legs need to be up here, the front legs need to be down here. So I'm gonna build a sort of staircase sort of thing that I think the wolf can stand on pretty nicely, and I've got it pinned, probably too much, but hey, it is what it is. It's gonna be built out of cork, so I can just push it all in, it'll fit real nice. And something like that. Hopefully that will work out. And then we have this wolf as well. I'm a little bit worried about this wolf. Normally on this base, the wolf kind of stands under like this somewhere, while Volga and her wolf are up here. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, because I don't think the cork has the structural integrity needed. But this should be fun. Depending on how long things take. might actually paint up the black ones, the already primed bases that I've got. To finish this. You can go away. I'll save this. This will go into my bits box for when I do something that involves trees and stones and stuff. You know, it'll work out later. It'll work out later. I think we're gonna leave this one for last. We're gonna start with the simple stuff. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 75 mil, 160 mil. And if you're wondering why there's a bunch of junk on them, I had a different basing scheme in mind in the beginning, and then I decided no. And as you may see, there is already some brick stuff on here. It was going to be the wrong height when I was going to apply the bricks on this one, because originally I had this, it was 3 or 4 millimeter thick cork board that I was using. Was great. It ran out, so I ordered new without really thinking about how thickness would affect things. And so I got this 2 mil, and it works. It looks pretty decent. Not only is it 2 mil, but it is. Let's see if I can find where's the other base. So here's what a primed black with the 2 mil dense or compacted cork looks like. It looks really nice. It looks a lot cleaner than, say, this, which I believe this one may have been made with a quite cheap thick corkboard, where I did like double cuts. I didn't just cut out the bricks, but I had like cut them in half because the corkboard was so thick. This is obviously a lot rougher. This looks more rustic. I kind of like this look still, but I'm gonna go for this because this was a lot easier to work with. The lower recesses makes it a lot easier to fill in the quote-unquote grouts. So hang on. For this project we are going to need a ruler, a knife, some glue and bases. Oh, and also sawdust. This is just cork dust that I took a piece of corkboard and where did it go? It was just here. I saw it a second ago. There it is. I just took a piece of corkboard, rubbed it on sandpaper or sanding stick in this case, to get the sawdust that we're gonna be using to fill in the grout lines. Because you could leave it bare. You absolutely could leave it bare, but I think the uneven nature of the grout lines makes it look a lot better. You could also use something like astrogranite or grelin earth, something like that, you know, if you want to use a texture. But I think mine is cheaper, because how much is a grelin earth? I don't have a keyboard here, which is a really stupid thing. I need to open the on-screen keyboard. Games Workshop. Alright. Oh shit. Painting and modeling. Let's check out paint. By type. basing? No. Base contrast, dry, layer, shade sprays. I guess it's technical paint. So 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙨, which is what you would use, is 475 for how much? 24 mil. I use sawdust, which is basically free, and super glue, although we're going to test some other glues today, which I think is a little bit more expensive than the 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙨. I think it's $5.99. It's about £1.25 more than the 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙨 for 20 mil, or 20 grams. I don't know how much that is in milliliters, but I think this is slightly more economical. Anyway, as you can see, this is not a straight line, so I'm gonna start off by squaring this off. I've not actually used this ruler before. This is the first time I've used a ruler on this project, or in mini hobbying overall. Usually not a big ruler guy, but I found that I was having issues keeping even relatively straight line. And a ruler, I thought a ruler would come in handy, so I got this nice, it was like a pound steel ruler. But, you know, if I need to know how much an inch is in millimeters, very handy. 36 inches is 914 millimeters, so 0.914 meters. And then I can also tap to drill. I don't really know what these are, but doesn't matter, does it? Alright. That's not the straight edge. This is the straight edge, and you know what? Let's be super scientific about this. Let's be a little bit special about this. So I have these squares. They are 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So I think I want to have these be 0.5 centimeter thick by. I want them to be 1/2 centimeter by 1 centimeter. I feel like that's a good size. Completely arbitrary, but I don't need to do the full line. I can just keep it like this. As long as I keep the ruler straight and steady, should all be good. Always change your working position to the most comfortable. Don't work around the material. Let the material work around you. There we go. Strip 1. I really should have marked this up beforehand. And here's the thing, I'm doing this for Age of Sigmar, and it's vampires, so like who cares if it's super neat, right? Old people, like it's supposed to be medieval-ish. Old people suck. I'm also gonna switch out this knife, because I think my other knife is better. It's bigger. Bigger is always better, right? felt better. Looks about the same. Go. Got a couple strips going. We have a not insignificant amount of bases to make. And there we ripped a bit off. That sucks. Cork is not the most durable material, which is why I'm worried about the Belladonna Volga base. The edge again, I think. What I'm gonna do is start a little bit on both edges so I don't keep ripping. That's sure to dull my knife. Run against a steel surface. That's real smart, dickhead. Alright. So what has been going on? Saw some news from, I believe, earlier today. Today is Tuesday, the something of May 2023, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I wish it was 2013 again. They are bringing back the Farstriders and Sepulchral Guard for Warhammer Underworlds. They had been out of rotation, so to say, for a bit, which is cool. I could probably pick up the Sepulchral Guard quite cheap on eBay as a result when these boxes come back. Definitely way cheaper than they were new. So that's good, and I could add them to my vampire army because they are playable with Soulblight Gravelords. But honestly, I'm not super feeling. I'm going way off target here. I'll turn this around, square off, see if I can fix this. It's the problem of talking and doing at the same time. I'm not really feeling the sculpts on the Sepulchral Guard. They feel kind of like goofy skeletons, like the old skeletons. That just did not look as good as... Son of a bitch. That just did not look as good as the new Death Rattle. Because I really like the look of the new Death Rattle and the 𝙋𝙤𝙤𝙨, I think it is, from Age of Sigmar. Not Age of Sigmar, from Cursed City. I like those skeletons. Generally, I prefer it if my vampire army could be all vampires. I have been cooking up a list that uses just vampires, so it's Blood Knights, 6 leaders, including Prince Vordrai, I think it is, or just a vampire lord on Zombie Dragon. And what else? Trying to think. Crimson Court is in there. I think that's it. And it's Castlight Dynasty, because in Age of Sigmar you have to have battle line, and the only vampire battle line that exists in the game is Blood Knights if you have the Castlight Dynasty. So It has to be a Castle army. You can't do Legion of Blood, the Nephrata, or Legion of Knights with Buddy Bud, and you can't. Well, and I don't like the werewolves either. I don't dislike them, but they're not what I think of when I think of vampire. You know what I mean? Well, that went. I guess I'll find that in a decade. So I've been making these bases with super glue so far, but then I heard about something called tacky glue. I don't know if this is just PVA glue. Ultra strong, dries clear, non-toxic, all blah blah blah. I don't know how this compares to PVA. I kind of just bought it on a whim. For basing, it should be fine. Alright. And then just to speed this part up, I'm just gonna this is easier when I don't have a camera. I'm just kinda eyeballing this. Doesn't matter if it's perfectly 1 centimeter. The imperfection is what gives this method its character. Because if I wanted perfection, I could just go out and buy cobblestone plastic card and have like 95% of the work done for me. It would be so much easier to just buy the plastic card. But one, plastic card is a lot harder to distress, as we're going to see in step 3. Step 1 is cutting up the cardboard into bricks. Step 2 is gluing the bricks down in whatever pattern you fancy. And step 3 is distressing or weathering. And the reason we use cork rather than, say, plastic card with already printed cobblestone on it is because, one, this is probably going to be way cheaper. I have not looked up the price of printed plastic card, but this is just dense cork, so like no problem at all. And the other is a specialty product for miniature train enthusiast bits, and you know, whenever something is made for enthusiasts, that's when they crank up the price. Not as much as when they make it for professionals. When something's for professionals, it's super expensive. When something is for enthusiasts, it's quite expensive, and when something is for consumers, it's yeah, that's when you get the cheap shit. Anyway, so cork should be much cheaper than plastic card, and it's going to be way easier to distress. You could also get some green stuff and do this. Green Stuff World has like texture rollers, and if you want to do that, you know, that's fine. But I think the green stuff itself is going to be more expensive than the cork when you consider how long it is. It is going to be significantly easier. It's probably going to be easier than the plastic card itself as well. But green stuff is not particularly cheap. It's not super easy to work with. Until you like get it into the form and everything, making sure you know you have good green stuff and it doesn't grit up on you, stuff like that. And I think, yeah, that one might be easier to distress because all you have to do is poke and prod at it with like a stick. But I think just getting the random actual like broken distress is going to be harder with green stuff than with cork. So for me, cork seems like the perfect material for this. And once I had committed, I needed it all to look the same ish. So you know, there was no going back once I had started. Originally I was also I was going to be lazy and have like a dual base thing, where half the army, so basically all the chod, was going to be on dirt, so that it would work with some of the bases that come with some of the characters, because they had to be on dirt. Like Belladama Volga really has to be in sort of a dirt area. But then I decided, you know what, no. I want it all to be on these brick bases. I want them all to look fantastic. So I'm gonna have to make something for Belladama Volga. And we're gonna have to figure that out together. Maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna be done. I have no idea how long this is gonna take me. I did prep all the bases yesterday. This is gonna be some chunky pieces. That's fine. Yeah, I prepped all the bases. They're all magnetized and everything, so they're gonna be easier to handle when it comes to painting. And transporting and everything. Not that I know how much transporting I'm going to be doing, but you know, if I move home to Sweden, then I want to be able to transport my painted minis home safely. And so that's going to be in magnetized boxes. Leave those 3 strips as they are. Okay, so we have the tacky glue, we have the base. This kind of just looks like PVA. I think this is just PVA. Did I fall for marketing and just buy PVA glue even though I have PVA glue? Well, I guess I'm using PVA glue. I have not tried PVA glue for this method. It is very possible that it works fantastically well, and I've been wasting brain cells and money using super glue until now. I would use tweezers, but all my tweezers are metallic, and as I said earlier, this base is magnetized. Alright, let's spread some PVA on here. Maybe this is not the tool for the job. Oh yeah, no, the way this washes off with just water. This is 100% PVA glue. Damn it! Oh well. Where is a good brush for this? No, I need it for later. My Citadel base brush. Why not? I have a feeling I'm gonna need to use super glue for step 4 anyway. one of the problems here is that I'm definitely not doing more than step 2 in the stream if I'm using PVA glue. So I guess I'll do all of these bases and then move on to Belladama Volga and do that with super glue so that I can get that done today. Let me check, what was that? Sorry, I have to respond to a message. Okay. So we want to, can we use the folder here? So we want there to be some room between the pieces so that we can have grout in between them. We have somewhere to catch with our dry brushing that we're going to do in the painting stage. But we don't want to leave too much room because then it's going to look super unnatural at scale. We can leave some because it's not going to be, you know, true scale. If it was true scale, like basically just scoring it with a knife would be appropriate. And again, I'm not worrying about like making everything line up perfectly here. I just want the pattern down. I do want some pieces sticking out so that I can trim them off in step 5. I don't know. I've not written down the steps. I should. Yeah, I want this to look rough and ready, like it was made by people who were not the best at what they do. This is supposed to be in the realm of 𝙭-ish, or something similar. So dead people made this. And dead people suck. Otherwise, why are they dead? If, you know, just be better, don't die. Skill issue. Einstein, what a scrub. Newton couldn't even stay alive. Here, why not? Irregular pattern, always good. Lovely. Makes it look irregular, and we like irregular. A big reason as well that I like these to be irregular is because all the bases are kind of in different quality. Because I'm using a variety of different corkboards. They kind of look different, so I want to make sure that on every level these look different. That way they won't look out of place. Placing down bricks like it's Lego. Lego, not Legos. I don't know why, but it bothers me when people say Legos. Lego is the brand. If you're talking about multiple Lego bricks, that's what they're called, Lego bricks. And it's such a like a pedantic little shit thing, so I've never brought it up ever. Right, okay. Gonna put this piece in. Cool. Where is... All right, BRB, one moment. There we go. All right, so 1 down, 7 to go. And I need this to fully cure before I can move on to the next step of distressing. If this is proper PVA, it's gonna shrink back. So the fact that I want it a bit heavy in areas will not matter, although it shouldn't matter anyway. So, yes. There has to be a better way to do this than using this thing. I have a piece of card somewhere. This could work. Spread it out like butter. And it don't matter if I get anything on the rim. I can pick that off probably with my fingers later, but if nothing else, with the blunt end of a knife. Don't worry about this sanding, this nail file, I guess it is what it is. I am going to throw that out later. And also, I'm going to try and use the, you know what? I have the homemade painting handles. Let's bloody use them. Okay. Yes, the magnet might cause a little bit of an issue with the metallic, what do you call them, pincers? No, tweezers. So I think we'll be fine. I think the bigger issue is that this base is too big for the handle. Okay, and continue on, I suppose. This is working quite well. I don't dislike this method at all. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not the PVA will hold up. But that's only something time will tell. I'm gonna leave these to cure fully, for the glue to dry and everything, until tomorrow. And then we'll keep going. I don't know if it's someone talking, it's very strange. Oh my god. Could you imagine having schizophrenia, hearing random voices, like random sounds, having auditory and visual hallucinations constantly? I don't know if I could take that. I feel like just like constantly hearing someone going, "Hey," and you like, oh, that's probably a hallucination. Just gonna ignore it, and then it continues. "Hey," and you're just like, no, just ignore it. "Hey," and then you turn around and you go, "What?" And it was a hallucination. And hand hook car man hook car door hand. It's just scary to think about, right? Like then who is phone? That kind of shit. Losing my mind, probably one of the greatest fears I have. I mean, I don't have a ton in there already, but like losing control of what little I have, that would suck. That would not be happy times. Like bloody like Alzheimer's, shit like that. Whew. And at that point, just end me. Anyway, that was a dark topic. What else has been going on in? Sorry, well, What else has been going on? I had some time off from work. Didn't stream, didn't content create at all during that time though, because I had my mum over for the entire week, which, you know, it was lovely. But at some point you just want to get back to being alone, especially when you're me. And I say that knowing full well that half the time I was just in here hobbying. Like, I was not even... We weren't even hanging out. Like, we'd go out for breakfast. Like, have, you know, nice conversation, chat. Then maybe, like, go for a walk for an hour or two. You know, be back home by, like, 1. And then I'd basically hobby for like a couple of hours. Maybe we'd go for another walk before dinner. Like, yeah, we didn't really hang out that much other than like going on walks. So I got a lot of hobbying done. Built a lot of minis. Built a fair amount of bases. I mean, I did, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 21, probably 25 bases. Painted 21 of them. Which I think is pretty decent for like the amount of work that goes into these bases. I will say something about this method compared to the either the green stuff or the plastic card version is the time investment. I don't think is not comparable. Like, this takes so much longer to just give a similar result. Like, it's not even better. But I still like it. I think it's slightly better maybe if you're looking for the rough and ready, like the ancient cobblestone or whatever, the ancient brick road. If that's the aesthetic you want, then I think this is slightly better than using a green stuff roller or plastic card, especially considering how unique every base is. So I have, for example, let's see if I can find. Oh, here's a good one. We compare these two. Like, they're in different patterns, and like, yeah, you could do this with the other ones, but it's so much easier to just change on the fly. Or this one is good. This is one of my favorites. So this is a base with a wall, just built from the same cork all over, and then I'm gonna have a character lean up against it. Probably couldn't do this with plastic card, and doing it with green stuff would have been a pain in the ass. And I have, if you go and check on my Instagram, I also have some stuff on my I spent a lot of time on Neferata's base and on my Terrorgeist base, which I might be converting to a Vampire Lord. And I don't think you can't have a Vampire Lord on Terrorgeist, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. Call it a zombie dragon, because Terrorgeist honestly looks a lot better. I think the head is a lot cooler. that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I really enjoy building like structures and stuff. Even if Nephrata's base makes 0 sense, I enjoy the process of building this. I'm building all these bases a lot more than if I use other methods, I think. I mean, the speed at which you could do the other, it can't be matched. But that's just the way it's gonna be. But this has been fun. It is worth it in my book to do it this way, even if it's insanely slow. Like in the time that I've done these 3 bases, if you used green stuff foils, rollers, or plastic card finished already, you would have done like 10 times. Yeah, sure, the mixing the green stuff, that probably wouldn't even take longer than doing the cutting up the bricks. And mixing that stuff probably would have been the same amount of time. And you know, some people, they hate basing, and that's fine. If you hate basing, do bare minimum. Get texture paint, or you know, do the old glue and sand, a wash, a dry brush, a tuft, or flock, or scatter, or whatever you want to use. And just go for it, man. Do whatever makes the hobby feel fun to you. For me, building and basing might be my favorite bit. Like the painting actually comes second, and you know, for some people it's the playing. Some people would just play with bare plastic if they could. I do think it's good that it's basically universally agreed upon that you should be painting your stuff. I did hear an old boss of mine, we were talking about Warhammer, this is years ago now. He was saying that one of his mates loathed painting. He absolutely hated it. What he would do, he would get the Games Workshop pots, take his mini and just dunk it. Just dunk it into the pot and pick it out, and I guess that would just, I mean, that's gotta ruin the model. So like, yeah, sure, if you're doing it in a like a dip wash, sure, but like, I don't know what I forgot here. There we go. I was wondering why my fingers were feeling so sticky all of a sudden. Like that's, you're covering all the detail of the model with paint when you do that. 2 thin coats. Although I don't think 2 thin coats really applies when you're dunking the model. But I suppose if you have a decent dip wash, do a zenithal highlight, a zenithal spray. You could even do a 2-tone zenithal spray. So you do black primer, spray it from, you know, above. What would it be? What is it? It's 100. If we have 0 on that axis, like from above 45 degree, you spray gray, and then just from straight above, from the zenith, you do white. Easier if you have an airbrush, but you can do it with rattle cans. And then you dip wash it in something like a blue. You can make your own dip wash. You know, you can have a blue. Although I don't think every tournament would consider that legal, because usually you have to have 3 paint. You have to have 3 colors on it. And because it's black and white, they might not count this as 2 separate colors. There might be something else. You might consider it to be all in one color even, depending on the judge. You might consider your minis to be all in one color if you just dip wash it in one color. What you can get, I think Rust-Oleum makes them. They're like primer and color in a can, and then you can go over. So you spray your models in that. You can go over it with a different colored oil wash. That's 2 colors, and then maybe black and white counts as another one if you do a zenithal. I do highly suggest watching Ninjon's video where he paints 120 zombies in a single day. That's a fantastic video. And you know, you have a lot of speed techniques in there, where, you know, someone who really hates painting, wants to just get it over with, could also do something like that. Because, you know, whatever it is. If you don't want to paint, don't want to paint. Just want a game. I have never played a game of Warhammer in my life. Not 40k, not Age of Sigmar, not Warcry, not Underworlds, not Kill Team, not Blood Bowl. Not Necromunda, Warhammer Quest, nothing. I'm hoping once I have a fully painted army that I'll muster up the courage and join one of the games at work. I don't know if anyone at work actually plays Age of Sigmar, but I've seen some people paint, so maybe I can get a game going once I have my fucking 4,000. I think I'm almost at 5,000 points of vampires now painted. Well, none of it is painted, but I need to get it painted. I think with the extra skeletons that I got, which takes my skeleton horde up to 30, and Belladama Volga, that's a lot of points. And so I think I have 4,900, like 4,850, something like that. Which is a lot of unpainted vampires, that's for sure. I really enjoy collecting, and I really enjoy building. Also, I started collecting in 2021 when they announced Soulblight Gravelords. I love vampires. It's my favorite fantasy creature. And then I did almost nothing in 2022. 2022 was a rough year for me. I did not have a good year in 2022. 2023 is feeling better, so far at least. I think a lot of it was professionally. I was not super happy with where I was professionally. Maybe also physically. Maybe I wasn't feeling super home here in old Blighty, but things feel better now. Feel more at home in England. Feel in a better position at work, doing what I want to be doing rather than some of the bullshit I don't want to be doing. Come on. That's the thing. There are two types of people. The first are of the tribe, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Right? And the second is do what you love and you'll lose something you love. If that makes sense. I don't know how that transitions into my point, but my point is I have to be doing something I really enjoy, otherwise I get super depressed. I cannot do a job I don't enjoy doing. I would not last very long. And usually that's been the case so far in my professional life. I've done a job until the job for some reason is no longer fun, and then I've left. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about leaving where I am now, but I've come around. I'm feeling bad about it. We had some fun projects. 2022 was rough, but 2023 we've had some fun projects. We have some fun stuff coming up. The spring championship was fantastic. Even though, I was working until 10 p.m. making sure everything was working, making sure everything was alright. And there were issues, there were absolutely issues. That was a fun project. I very much enjoyed the spring championship. And I hope if you're watching this, and you did watch the Total War Warhammer 3 Spring Championship, I hope you enjoyed it as well. We worked really freaking hard on it. Between myself and Josh, might have been the hardest we've ever most work we put into a single project. The two of us. Someone else is probably putting way more. It's just it was a big project, and big projects are generally quite fun. And I'm not talking about like, oh no, we have a game. That's the project. No, the game is not the project. The game is the theming of the project. The project is every stream, every video. And you might be going, oh, how is a stream a project? Well, we started working on the Spring Championship in, I think, October? It took us about 6 months to get it actually from let's do this to pressing live, which was a task and a half. I just looked at the clock. I'm not going to have time to do everything that I wanted today. So instead, I'm going to come back probably tomorrow, maybe, unless my brain decides otherwise. We're going to continue with this shite. But I'm gonna finish off these bases, set all the bricks up so that this can dry overnight. You can come back to it tomorrow. You can do steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can work on Belladama. But there's still 2 bases to do, so let's crack on. I also played some Total War Warhammer 3 this weekend because I realized it's been bloody ages since I played Total War Warhammer 3. And those of you in the know, you might be going, you work on Total War Warhammer 3. How could you not have played it in ages? Didn't you just release the DLC? And the answer to that is, when you're working on making videos, you're not really playing the game. Especially not when you made the video that I made, which is the What Is video. Because that requires pretty much no playing of the game. So I think the last time I played the game was sometime last year. Instead, I've been working on other bullshit. Like the Spring Championship, which also did not require any playing of the game. Anyway, so I booted up Total War Warhammer 3 and thought, I've never played Vampire Counts. I have this huge Age of Sigmar army, but I've never played Vampire Counts in Warhammer 3. I've played Vampire Coast, but never Vampire Counts. And I'll be honest, did not quite enjoy that faction very much. I do really like Total War Warhammer 3. I have played it in my spare time before, because basically the only time I'm gonna get to finish a campaign is when I'm playing it in my spare time. So Snitch, whatever his name is, the 𝙋𝙤𝙤𝙨 became my first Total War campaign to finish. I believe I did it on Vortex. And I've done Vampire Coast. Thematically love Vampire Coast. I struggle with Black Powder. I find Black Powder to be really difficult to play with. Some people are geniuses at that shit. I've played, let's see, really enjoyed 𝙋𝙤𝙤𝙨 and Taurus. Both of those were really fun. I actually completed both those campaigns before the DLC was even announced. I just basically couldn't stop playing those. So those were really fun. Let's see. Don't think I've finished anything else. I've barely played Empire. I've barely played Dwarves or Elves. No, I did. I finished. What's his name? Batman. Eltharion the Grim. I played his campaign and finished it. So I played High Elves. That counts. I'm a big fan of the narrative campaigns rather than the sandbox. So in Warhammer 3, I've played a lot of Realm of Chaos. I've finished the game as Kislev, Cathay, Khorne, maybe Slaanesh. Trying to remember. And then I also finished as one of the Champions of Chaos. I think it was Village. I could be wrong. I was the one that made the Village video after all, so that would be fitting if that was the one I finished. I did play Chaos Dwarves, not because I had to get to the final battle for the video, but I was playing it on easy, so it doesn't really count, does it? Alright, final base. Then we're gonna say goodbye for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll continue these. And hopefully we can do Volga. So I don't really know what I'm doing for her. That's gonna be fantastic. know I want to do like a brick staircase kind of thing. But I also like, I want to, one, have it be a little bit floating, so I can try and fit a wolf under it, as the original is. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. Make it all fit on the 60mm base. I have to say, something I've seen as a trend, especially among the Warhammer enthusiasts who do it primarily for painting. Something that I really don't like are the people that do plinths. And if you're unfamiliar with a plinth is basically like you take the base and you just make it bigger. You just replace the base with something bigger. You make like a mini diorama or something out of it. And like, fine, if that's what you want to do, absolutely. But personally, I think it's a little bit of cheating. Because I think you should work on the original base. And like, yeah, if it's just, you know, if you're just displaying it, then sure, absolutely. But I saw a video in which the creators, I'm not gonna name names because that would be rude. I don't want to call anyone out specifically. I just want to talk about something that I don't like. So in the video, the creators gave themselves a spending limit, and it was basically starting Warhammer from scratch. But because they're a painting focused channel, they basically made they made diorama stuff, or at least one of them made like a diorama thing. And it's like, if you're gonna do that, why do Warhammer in the first place? If you're gonna do just painting, why not just buy something 3D printed off of eBay? It'll be cheaper than buying Warhammer models, at least the good looking ones. You're gonna get them bigger, but better. You can get more stuff. Warhammer is expensive. The minis are expensive, which is why I do intend to play with my minis. They are not just to paint with. I am assembling an army, not just cool minis to paint, although I do have a couple of minis that are just cool to paint. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll